We don't have the original manuscripts of the New Testament. They all disappeared within a century, I'm pretty convinced, by copying and copying and copying. Frequent handling. The early church was far more concerned to get the gospel out than they were to do exact copying of the New Testament. And that actually is a blessing, because they didn't have those kinds of controls, and consequently you get copies that are not through just one stream, but tons of people all over the place are making these copies. So here's a man who lives in Corinth. He's going to be visiting Rome, and he says, hey, I heard Paul wrote a letter to you guys too. I want to write that out. Do you mind if I copy it when I get there? Sure, that's no problem. This happened, I'm sure, dozens and dozens of times over. And those manuscripts would have lasted as much as 80, 90 years, but would have fallen apart from all these copies being made. So we don't have the originals. They disappeared. And all the copies that we have disagree with each other at some point. Sometimes it's quite a few disagreements. But we have hundreds of thousands of textual variants among our manuscripts. So a question to ask here is, how badly did the scribes corrupt the New Testament? It's absolutely proven that they did. No two manuscripts are alike. So unless one of them is pristine, every single scribe made mistakes. So because the original manuscripts disappeared and because no two copies agree with each other completely, we have to do textual criticism. We can't just rely on one. It's imperfect. So scholars have to reconstruct it on that basis.
Now, the New Testament also states that true Christians can drink poison, Mark chapter 16, and not be harmed. My question is, why don't the vast majority of Christians follow these rules? And if they do, I would like, Mr. Wood, I have a vial of whiteout, liquid paper, highly toxic. I would like Mr. Wood to swig this bottle of whiteout. If he does not do it, then he does not agree that this is the Word of God, because he's a Christian, and Jesus says, according to the Gospel of Mark chapter 16, that he can drink poison and survive. If he does not do it, then he is admitting this is not the Word of God. If he does do it and he survives, I am willing to become a Christian tonight.
Did you say a bottle of whiteout? I might do that for you. As far as the mark, that comes from the end of Mark, which practically every scholar, every Bible scholar in the world says was not authentic, that this was a later addition. And so that's not in the early source material. As far as our earliest records don't have that part about the...
Question: did God write the Bible? Answer: no, definitely not. No. Some of you right now are like, the channel is called the 10-Minute Bible Hour. You just seem like such a nice Christian boy, and that's not the Christian answer. But it actually is. And the thing about it is, the Bible itself does not pretend to have been written by God. It is fully transparent about the fact that all of the words on these pages were written by people. A whole bunch of them over a very...
For the errors of the scribes when the New Testament was handed down person to person.
Yeah, excellent question. There are errors that we know about. Why? Because we can compare the documents, we can compare the manuscripts and see where the errors are. In fact, let me see if I can show you a representation of that, because it's better seen than it is described. Here it is. Let's say you have, here's the original, which we don't have. We don't, at least we don't think we have any original documents, okay? So they're all